Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, free enterprise fans around the world. My name is Possumorpheus, and I am honored and privileged to be here for this Red Moon Waning round 4 matchup between Stone Dingley and Rexbanner. Joining me on the restream team today is Alchemy, doing the restream and rolling this wonderful seed. We also have Dubward doing the tracking, and last but not least, the birthday boy himself, Ninja81 as my co-commentary partner. Happy belated birthday by one day to you, Ninja, and happy
Yeah.
birthday. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Just relaxing, ready to enjoy this race.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. I'm excited for this race for sure. We have a Cecil start, Stone Dingley kind enough to show us. We got some bosses floating around here, and we got Rexbanner talking about doing Eddie strats, which we have seen once in this tournament in a Blue Moon Seed, courtesy of Commander Leonhardt. You think we'll get a second one today, Ninja?
Ugh. I don't know. We shall see.
Yeah, I doubt we will, but I would definitely be here for it. Let's give a rundown of kind of the runners' paths of how they got here. Rex Banner ended up dropping his first match to Microcorgs in this tournament, and has made a little bit of a lower bracket run, if you will, a waning bracket run, coming up and defeating a couple of very good runners on his way, defeating Loof and then Dragons to get here. Stone Dingley won his first match, where he was victorious over Harumph, and then took a loss to Solaris before winning against Zyrak here in the waning bracket. So Stone Dingley and Rex, fairly similar paths, but are meeting here in the fourth round of the waning bracket. So yeah, they have identical records, pretty good times between them. Both are tournament staples at this point, and going to be a great time.
I totally agree with you on that.
So Ninja, I know that you are a Blue Moon, runner, but
Uh,
that is not to take away anything from your skill whatsoever. Who do you want to see to go with a Cecil?
Edward. Uh,
How about C Vanilla and a Blizzard Spear? That's actually
yeah.
really interesting to get this started.
And we know at least Baron 1's not required.
Yeah, but we do know it's free. King
Three,
Queen
yeah.
Eblan, if an early Baron key shows up, could be impetus for our runners to head on over
Yeah,
to do
like
an
if you
early
get
Baron.
one before going hook.
Yeah, absolutely. Baron could definitely be in play. Now, I'm curious how many vanilla characters we're going to see. We can get up to 6. Can't get
Mhm.
7 because of Tela appearing on Ordeals and in Watery Pass. But I would love to see the twins in Mysidia and Tela here just as a haha from Alchemy to our runners. As we get some fire armor, a Boreas. And there's your Edward. You got your Bard Ninja.
Yep. And that's a Rosa in Watery Pass. Nice.
Yeah, a Rosa in Watery Pass and a Palom in Mysidia. That's a pretty strong combo there to go with a Kane and a Cecil. That's 4 very strong characters and an Edward so far.
There's an Okrax for your Kane.
Yeah, I mean, Odorax and Blizzard Spear, Kane has a lot of utility right now. Even a chance to take on some early Mad Ogres and Eblan if our runners want to take a dive at that. We'll definitely have to see how that develops.
Yeah,
But I think we found a better target for that Odorax.
yeah. And it looks like Rex is about to hit there too.
Yeah, that is a Sid hanging out in Damsian, so that's definitely an early welcome sight for our runners. Sid also can transition over to be a really great anchor later on once he goes through and kind of slowly gets agility. Maybe you get a dwarf axe or a curse ring on him. But yeah, that's a really great early game target for that Odorax. Tons of strength on Sid. and just a Mylon of some flavor in the waterfall of no interest to Stone Dingley, and not on our required boss list. Rex heading off to Antlion, and Stone Dingley going to take a dip into Watery Pass and get his Rosa.
Yes. Rex is not going to check Mysidia yet. He's going to head straight to Antlion, huh?
Yeah, that is going to leave him down the Palom, and missing out on those early levels on Palom can hurt quite a bit because you want those level 2s, you want those, those early virus. Oh, and was that goodbye Palom on Dingley's side?
I think so.
That is an interesting choice to me. I would be very keen on keeping Palom around.
I would have dropped the Edward for now until you find maybe said Spoon. And there's our first required boss in Antlion, Gomez.
Yeah, this is interesting because this actually benefits Rex a little bit. He can control more of his party and who's going to be alive and who's not. Unfortunately, Cecil too strong to die here. Looks like Golbez going to potentially leave 2 people you don't really want up. I think you definitely want Kane up here.
I think you want the Sid, because the Sid can actually take a spell from Golbez here.
That's also true, yeah. Sid and Kane are the folks you want alive, and Rex tried to knock off Rosa and Cecil, but was unable to. But we'll see as Stone Dingley joins as well. Having this Eddie around as well might be beneficial for Stone Dingley, as he might be able to get some hide action going here as well.
Yeah, the other reason why they couldn't take the Cecil down was, you got to think, means this is Red Moon. There is no Sea Nekion. So Cecil had his full black set on. Or darkness. Which one is I forget?
I think he starts with Shadow Gear, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the gear situation is a bit different on Red Moon than Blue Moon for sure. Starting with that armor on does make him a little more protection oriented. And Rexbanner is through that Golbez. That's our first boss objective on the board. There's some more vanilla.
Sadness of Rubies.
Yeah, the saddest of rubies indeed, but there we are. We have a key item. That's a thing.
Yeah.
We have a required boss down, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's really all I got.
If I was Rex, I would probably continue. Probably not Rex. Probably check Hobbs. Then maybe over to Fabul.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good path, and then you have a choice from there as to whether you want to look at Ordeals or Mysidia.
Have we seen the character on Ordeals?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. So it's still a mystery. It could be like, say, a Young or something.
Or it could be a Tella.
That is Ruby or Elements.
We have two bosses. Now, that is required for Rex, but he says no. Maybe going to come back later to that when he checks the waterfall, since he only has one character alive.
Oh, you know what? He's going to do Fabul, so he gets the free heal.
Yeah.
Because only one person's alive in his party, Sid.
Yeah, and it's not like you really need much to get through that. We have a Blizzard Spear for Kane, who will solo that fight, but he's dead. And a dead Kane cannot solo that.
I'm figuring that's what he's doing. He's doing Fabul to get the free heal at the start of Fabul, and then the one right after.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
And then he hits back over with, say, Blizzard Spear Kane and just goes to town on Ruby.
Yeah, I don't hate it, because it's also about 4,300 XP, if I remember right, which is very meaningful for Rosa, for Kane, and if either of our runner were to have him for Palom as well. So that early XP does go a long way if we were to take that approach, which I assume our runners will. But we get a first peek here at Fabul Defense, and we have Demist.
Interesting. That is maybe a requirement.
Well, what it
I mean,
does represent is 2 key item checks because
yeah.
on the Red Moon flags, Demist is on as a de facto 9th boss
Yes.
that you'd be looking to find. So no free key items here. This is just going to be a Demist that will provide something. So when Rex loops back to check the Mist Cave, to check the waterfall, to check that ruby, he will be able to turn in that Demist. And we see Stone Dingley making great use of the J item there, that Boreas he picked up.
Yeah.
One shot, Ruby gone. Goodbye. Boss objective number 2 on the board for Stone Dingley.
Just no experience though for anybody but Sid.
Yeah, no XP, but the fight is done and he never has to go back.
True.
So it's going to be more efficient time-wise than having to return, as long as you don't need that Boreas long-term. So if you do need that Boreas for something like a Dolls fight on Ordeals, or at like Baron in 2, then it's a pretty big punish. But if you don't, then you're good.
That's correct. And there goes Miss Dragon.
Now, I'm just going to say our runners are high-fiving under the bridge here, or on the bridge, as one exits the Demus fight and the other gets into it. But that is, for Rex, Demus down, and for Dingley, seeing that Demus, we'll see if he can get through it quickly.
And
just
all we got was a siren.
Okay, so we have a Sand Ruby, which is fairly meaningless. We started with a Blizzard Spear, which is, useful. And then we got a Siren. Alchemy, I know, was looking for a quick seed because it is already late for Alchemy, and we want her to be able to go to bed. But yeah, we need key items generally to make that happen. So I'm just going to look at my watch and just recommend that if we want to go to bed on time, that we need the key items to show up. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Rex is making your play though, Ninja, going back to Hobbs, and is going to jump most likely with that Blizzard Spear, or maybe even just use it as an item, and get through this Ruby
quickly.
And Eddie is getting levels on Dingley's side. Was not able to knock that Eddie off or kill him intentionally or unintentionally. So we do have a Bard with levels. We'll see where that goes on Dingley's side. As right now we have one unknown character up on Mount Ordeals, and we have a Palom who would be the most suitable anchor for his team. Yeah. So very interested to see where this one goes for Stone Dingley as far as party comp, where Rex is going to have a much easier time with anchoring considerations. Rex also now done with that Ruby, so both runners at 2 bosses complete, and looks like we are going to get a Demus turn in right away from Rexbanner. And I think both runners here also ended up purchasing that Elven Bow. So, we got 2 of them, I think, on Stone Dingley's side.
That is a rat tail. That is an item.
A key item, not natural progression, but definitely something that could come in handy. And we see Rex doing some shopping in Mist Village after getting that rat tail. Stone Dingley saying, I will hold off a little bit. Yeah, Dwarf Axe is huge. That can turn Sid into an anchor. It can also, in an emergency, turn Kane into a back row, berserker, but it's very unlikely you'll see that, given that the back row glitch is off on this flag set. But Stone Dingley going to give us an important information bit here. That is a welcome sign for Stone Dingley. That is a Rydia, which is an anchor, yeah.
And Baron guards.
Yep, just some Baron guards hanging out in the Mist Cave. Not much to do there. And Rexbanner is headed to Mysidia, going to find out the news on the Palom and the Edward here. I assume we'll see him pick up the Palom, drop the Edward, and looks like we have elements here at Ordeals 1, since we have already seen Ruby.
Not a terribly bad fight.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we are not getting Rydia dropped here. It looks like we may be considering something anchorless. This fight is a little awkward though if we take the fire twos because there is elevated magic here. So if we wanted XP on Rydia, she's not getting it now. But yeah, that is an elements fight down for Stone Dingley. And to answer a question from chat, if you wait a few seconds, can you use a cure through on elements? You can. So once the resistances are all set, you can go ahead and just go ahead and use fire magic. You could use curative magic. You just got to wait for all of the weaknesses to be set in the elements fight, and that's what that inherent delay is when you start the elements fight. And you wonder, why is this taking so long? Why don't I get a turn? It's because it's setting all the weaknesses to like fire, to mage and
Holy for
ice
Val,
in the
right?
second. Yeah, holy for Val. It's setting all of those. It may or may not set the undead bit. That's actually a good point from chat, but that is what that delay at least is on the elements fight, is the setting of weaknesses. But we do see a back attack octopus here. I don't know why we have an octopus on a mountain. That's a little bit
idea.
awkward, but hey, we're here. And we'll see what Rex wants to do here with Rydia. Looks like
maybe just send her to Mysidia for now.
Yeah, so Rex may be thinking potential slingshot or anchor later. Looks like Stone Dingley wants levels on this Rydia. The only anchor option he's going to have left would be a potential Palom, or finding that Dwarf Axe for Sid. So I'll be very interested to see long term what Stone Dingley's approach is going to be here. But we have a crumbling octopus on Stone Dingley's side and an elements fight on Rex's side. And Rex getting a big hit out of that Sid, which leads to a jump kill with the Blizzard Spear. So Rex got through that elements fight considerably quicker than Stone Dingley did, just because of that better damage roll.
That was very impressive, getting to switch faces like that.
Yeah, certainly was. Very quick fight there. And Stone Dingley going to be the first to show us some information here on Mount Ordeals. So we got that rat tail that we learned about from Demas, courtesy of Rex. And Stone Dingley going to show us in the changing room here for Cecil that we have a tower key. That is a key item that exists. It's a reason to go underground, but that means our underground access is through Baron Inn, I believe. I don't think we have another option at this point.
Unless Baron Inn has another item that they have to chase. Yeah, it could be a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I mean, Baron in theory, Baron Inn could lead to, Baron Castle could lead to the Earth Crystal, could lead to Twin Harp. There's a lot of places that could still lead, but as as Xenocat is pointing out in chat, this tower key cannot lead to underground access because Val is here. Much like that Sand Ruby in Antlion Cave could not lead to underground access because Golbez was there. So if we find Wyvern at Baron Inn, we got issues on this seed, though, which would be classic alchemy. It has been a while since we've had alchemy break a seed.
Someone breaking seeds? Nah.
Not in my randomizer. It does look like we are having a couple of minor stream issues on Stone Dingley's side. It looks like this is a feed-based issue on his side, so we're going to be trying to rectify that as much as we can. I know Alchemy is hard at work on that already, so we're just going to follow along primarily with Rex for now, and hope that Stone Dingley's Stone Dingley's stream cooperates a little better going forward. So apologies, as that might influence where we actually are in the race versus real time, but we'll do our best here in the comms booth and behind the scenes to get all that back up to snuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Rex, Rex. Wow, yeah, I got Rex on the mind. Ninja, not Rex. Ninja,
Yeah.
are you a fan of doing Eblan Castle on the Red Moon Tea proceeds, or do
Mm,
you like fading them? What's your kind of thought on that? Do you think our runners are going to go there this seed?
I think Rex will. I am not sure about Stowe.
Yeah, fair enough. A bold prediction where
I
it would
think
be very interesting to see that divergence.
I think first I would go Baron if Baron is the hook. Then I'd check hook route for like say hourglasses. Then I would think about doing that. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I like that line of thinking. Checking the hook for hourglasses and coffins,
Mm-hmm.
so that you're able to potentially have a much easier path through. So I definitely like that line of thinking, to make that Eblan Castle dive easier, get your XP, etc. Speaking of getting XP, Rexbanner popped a siren up here on
Yeah.
Ordeals. Looks like he's going to take a second one as well. So getting some early levels for his team. Going to be getting that Palom a couple extra levels, and take care of it that way.
I would say probably trying to get Palom to Virus.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get the virus right here, but it's certainly going to be a good help. And we do see Stone Dingley also purchasing that Dwarf Axe. So both runners have the Dwarf Axe now, for that
And,
Sid
and he
potentially,
does
which
get
is huge.
Virus on Palom and Rosa Learn Berserk.
Yeah, so that virus is going to make things a lot easier, not just for Eblan Castle, but also just for Baron Inn. So a little bit of a time investment here for Rex, but we'll see if he's able to make up that time. And worth noting, he has virus on Palom, where Stone Dingley does not have Palom at all. So this is still a very interesting situation as far as party compositions go. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Rex, and oh boy.
Oh, Cinder Crocodile.
Uh, I don't think we can get anyone to RA1 right now, Relative Agility 1, to make this really fast.
Nope.
Maybe Blizzard Spear Kane can put in some work here, but this is a really poopy gauntlet, for lack of a better term, for this
It's
party.
something.
We get a good run buffer there on Stone Dingley's side. The Blizzard is strong against the Crocodile, but not against the Piranhas. I believe it's also strong against the alligators, but not the Fang Shells. I think it has no impact on the Elec fish. This gauntlet is so bizarre for the weaknesses and resistances, and things that like half of the fish are flying as well. Like I think the Elec fish are lightning
Yeah.
absorb and
And
also flying. It's a mess. This gauntlet is a
and
mess.
and how Rex will have actually probably an easier fight because of that virus.
Yeah, if Palom stays alive.
That's true.
But yeah, we see that Blizzard Spear doing a little bit of work here. Takes out the alligator. We see a Thor Rage coming out to take out the Fang Shells, which are weak to lightning. I think the Piranhas are weak to lightning as well. So good use of the J items there, those starting Thor Rages. You might not get camping gear or anything like that in Red Moon, but at least you still get the Thor Rages. The awkward thing about this fight for Stone Dingley, that Thor Rage that's queued up is going to heal the Elec Fish, or the Blizzard Spear just dealt damage, but that's okay. We're going to take out 2 of the fish this way anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, what awful boss are you hoping for at the second spot here, Ninja, for Rex and Dingley.
I'm not sure. Maybe see an arm grind.
Oh, want some Baigen? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Alchemy wants Odin. Wyvern could always be fun, but we know it can't be Wyvern.
Yeah.
Unless the seed's broken.
And like I said, Rex is actually catching up a little bit.
Yeah, that virus that you mentioned. The only issue here is we are down to our last virus cast here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit troublesome from here on out as far as that Palam's concerned. But Rex still set up well for this, as is Stone Dingley. Blizzard not doing a ton anymore.
No.
But there's the runners are trying. They're doing what they can.
Yeah, Rex realizes and uses that Ether 2 on Paladin getting back up for the next fight.
Yeah, that Ether 2 is going to help not only as a virus cast here, but also for the second fight. And having some virus casts available for that second fight could be huge. So there's a gauntlet down. Okay, these Dark Imps are actually really scary. Especially for Stone Dingley, because these are super punchy, and Stone Dingley is anchored with Rydia, so his party is not going to be acting based off the fastest character, which would be Kane. It's acting off what is, I believe, the slowest character, or one of the slowest characters in Rydia. Thankfully, hitting the people in the back row, although Kane does go down here. But this is a very scary fight. We do get the Toad cast, though, so Stone Dingley going to be through here with not too many troubles. Very heads-up cast of Stone there, because they are some punchy imps. And looks like Rex going to keep leaning into that virus and try to take out these imps one by one.
Yeah, and it looks like maybe even faster.
Yeah, and Rex actually able to get through that faster. So well done by both runners, honestly. A much trickier fight for Stone Dingley, but good job by both. And there's our hook.
Here's the question. Do you check the rat tail now?
Yes.
I would.
Yeah, I want to see the rat tail as soon as I can. And find out what that could potentially be. It could even be like a pink tail, right? If it's rat tail to pink tail to some sort of really nice weapon, you could even forego Eblan Castle in that case. So I really think there's a lot of reason to go turn in that rat tail as soon as humanly possible. Get that extra key item check out of the way. Looks like Rex may not have peaked Waterfall yet. I believe that is the case. So, yeah, Stone Dingley going to give us that rat tail turn in and go from there.
And Rex is going to see that it's some form of Mylon. Oh.
Well, the rat tail gives us a lip bolt.
Yep.
That's a reward that exists. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. That's terrible. Well done, Alchemy. That is not a good reward.
And it looks like, maybe.
I think we're getting an early Zot 1 play, or we might be getting some shopping from Stone Dingley here. I was wondering if we were going to get the Rexbanner play against Rexbanner. That would be quite interesting.
Ooh, Wizard Shirts and Ruin Rings for sale in the Troya shop.
Not really of any use for Stone Dingley, though. Like, he has
No, but
Rydia, but no
I
good
mean,
summons.
for Rex, that'd be
Oh,
amazing
yeah.
if Rex actually checks it.
It would be, yeah.
And Rex is going to do what I was thinking. He's probably going to loot a few chests on the way down, then check the hook shop. If hourglasses or coffins are for sale, I think he pops back out and does Eblan.
Yeah, that would definitely make sense. Looks
There's
like we have
hourglasses.
Hourglasses and Leviathan. It's interesting. So that Leviathan orb is a very interesting piece of information.
And Rex
because
I was going to say, Rex looks like he bought 3 hourglasses, so I'm thinking he's going to back. Ooh.
Yeah, it's interesting because this is a situation where that Leviathan orb is going to benefit Stone Dingley if he doesn't find a better summon along the way. A little surprised that he didn't dive into Cave Eblan first and take a peek at the shops, but he is a little cash strapped. So that may be part of the reason why is he just wants to loot a little bit first and then kind of take it from there. Trying to figure out what he's going to do for his party. Has the Ogre Axe on Sid, hoping to hit the Mad Ogre chest, and does. So that is the right chest for him to hit, while Rex finds the Black Cat Lamia chest. So we have 2 of our 3 chests that are going to be known after this.
And what I was going to say was, if you want mage slaying gear, definitely check out the Hook weapon shop, because it had rune axes and mute daggers.
Yeah, mute dagger is less impactful since we don't have an edge. Definitely would be really big on the rune axe for this team collectively. Now we did see on Rex's side, he took that Sid straight to the ground with a virus from Palom, which tells me that Rex is looking at this as his final team. So we're looking at Cecil, Kane, Rosa, Palom, which is a team I very much so like on these flags. I'd rather have an edge though with that Masamune showing up, but that's going to be money out of 10 for Rexbanner, and we get a ribbon for Stone Dingley. Also might end up being money out of 10.
Yeah, so far that's what it is. And it's almost hard to believe that so far that Ice Brand might be one of the better weapons that we found so far for Cecil.
Well, I think between the Ogre Axe and the Gungnir Spear that's been picked up, we have a good amount of flexibility as far as who gets what weapons. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. We have a shout out from Xenocat asking now for a white spear. That would give us the trifecta of lunar core items, basically the Masamune altar, the ribbon, and then the potential white spear. Would be pretty funny. But we do have our 3rd chest, and that is Rexbanner casting Quake. So we do have Quack Kid online. 1-shots at Staleman's Skull chest. That is huge. And going to be making really good time here. And there we go. We have a reward of a glass hat. That is phenomenal for cover Cecil, since we don't really have a great weapon for him more than an Ogre Axe. So we may just be letting Cecil cover things as opposed to hit things here.
Yeah. The real question is, does Rex take any of the trap chests on the way down?
I don't know if he will. Probably will hunt the Staleman chest, but I don't know that you look to hunt the Mad Ogre chest. Since you can just Quake and get away with, kind of one-shotting the Staleman, but you'd have to put a little more effort into the Mad Ogres. You could also just wait until you get underground, depending what the boss is, and then just go to Sylph Cave and do trap chests there, assuming you can get your Palom to relative agility 1. And you can hunt for holy swords in that fashion. So it'll be interesting to see what we do on Rex's side with RA1 Quake, because we don't have the same flexibility on Stone Dingley's side. Once he sees that Leviathan summon, he may have a stronger overall party, but he won't have access to perfect anchoring. So it'll be very interesting to see how this hook route plays out, especially if there's a nasty boss hanging out. Something like an Ogopogo on the hook route. Even something like a Baigan or an Antlion, CPU, all of those bosses.
Evil Wall.
Yeah, Evil Wall. They play a lot nicer with good anchoring. So very interested to see where we end up here, on Stone Dingley's side especially. And chat pointing out we had some nice axe variants there, going from 560 to 4100, which is, just classic Ogre axe accuracy, combined with the back row and all of that. Rex wandering past that shop, but then thinking twice, hey, there were hourglasses here and I used all of mine. Let me buy one or two more before I carry on here. Getting rid of a couple of items, but going to probably buy another 3 or so, I'd imagine. And go from there. But Stone Dingley is falling behind a little bit because of not having access to Quake or Leviathan, and this is a bit of a scary fight because this Staleman can put people to sleep, and we do in fact have somebody asleep already, and that is Rosa, our white mage. Bit of a scary situation here on Stone Dingley's side.
Checking the hook shop really has paid off for Rex so far.
Yeah, and I mean, that was one of the things you shouted out very early on, Ninja. It was a very astute observation that if there's hourglasses or coffins in the hook shop, they can be very beneficial, and they certainly were. That is a fight where perfect agility and anchoring and all of that is not going to matter. That's just Bahamut chilling on the hook route at the Ruby spot. So not much to do there. Real point of interest now is going to be that King-Queen spot. Trying to think of what the worst possible bosses could be there for our runners.
Well, like I said, Evil Wall wouldn't be very fun because that cheats.
Evil Wall is not a particularly fun one. Baigan would still not be particularly fun. And DKC would take some creativity, but you'd be able to get through. Speaking of just getting through, Stone Dingley does get through that last trap chest. We'll see if he continues to hunt holy swords, or if he is also done with Castle Eblan now.
I think Dingley will see that hook shop and be like, and then realize that there were hourglasses for sale.
Yeah, there's another interesting thing going on here with Stone Dingley's party is that again, he's going to have access to that Leviathan spell, or that Leviathan summon, excuse me. And Leviathan is a stronger summon than Quake is a spell by a fairly moderate amount. I want to say it's something like 80 base spell power, I think is the difference. But that means that it can penetrate things like Twin Harp magic, defense and stuff like that. We're using Magus Sisters here. The magic itself is not a problem here. What will be a potential issue is the physical attacks, but I don't really foresee this being too much of a problem for either runner. We're going to have Leviathan on one side, Quake on the other, and this is going to also be much ado about nothing. Honestly, this is not that scary a fight.
No.
And we do get that Runex purchase that you had mentioned earlier on Stone Dingley's side. So we are going to have a Runex on Stone Dingley's side, no Runex on Rexbanner's side. Looks like we are opening some more boxes still on Stone Dingley's side, so I wonder if he is still trying to hunt a Holy Sword here.
Maybe just open chests along the way. There. Ooh. Did he buy hourglasses in the shop?
He did, yes.
Oh, okay. So we get to see what potentially is in this chest.
Yeah, I think on Stone Dingley's side, we're going to get both the Staleman and the Mad Ogres, whereas I think on Rex's side, we're just going to get those Eblan trap chests and then move on. But looks like Rex also zerking up his Cecil here. Going to be pushing as much damage as he can. Same with that Cane there. Also firing a Quake off. So I'm not sure if we're going to be walling too many folks here. If we're just kind of going for broke damage-wise on this.
And I always forget what the HP is here. What, 25,000?
Yeah, it is 20. I think it's like 25,000 or 25,400 or something like that. But yeah, not anything too terrible for just a Bahamut. But not a ton of DPS coming out here, but probably going to use maybe one or two Veils here.
Yeah.
You definitely want the XP on Rosa and on Palom, but that's about it.
I think Rex is just trying to chew through as much HP as he can, hoping that the reflect will finish it off.
Yeah, it's definitely one approach to it. I probably would have taken the approach personally of just walling up Rosa and Palom, and just letting two Mega Nukes fire. But you would still need to deal about 5,000 more damage at that point. So I don't know which would be faster. It's tough to say.
And Rex gets through it.
Yeah, so we're going to have two people alive here, Rosa and Palom on Rex's side, which are really the two people you want getting the XP. Zerkers require a lot less in the way of TLC as it pertains to levels and XP. But mages, you really want to squeeze all the XP you can for them. And it does look like Stone Dingley picked up a crystal hat from the Staleman. So right first word, wrong second word. But Rexbanner gets his pitfall at about the 3650 mark. Pretty respectable time, all things considered, for a Cecil Seed and doing all of Eblan. And also like we have a Leviathan.
Yeah.
How quickly would you want to go take that on with a tower key as well? Or would you?
Let's see, Leviathan there. I'm not real sure on that. I mean, it's not required. Well, it's not required until it is required.
That's, is the case for every boss, but
yeah.
I think there's two schools of thought on this one.
Yeah.
One is you would do it right away because it's a air quote free fight, and you have the tower key, and you can get your airship, your better airship.
Mm-hmm.
The second school of thought is, do you go find sirens, grind to lit 3, get your fire, ice, and lit 3 spells, get your extra levels on your characters, and then just kind of blow up the underground. I don't know which I'd fall into, because I think if you go the siren route, you're also then committing to doing dwarf, olive tower, potentially part of the Fey March, and you don't get above ground to check things like Sheila 1 for a long time. So this also could be just a half tower play, where you go and you do the tower key. The top of tower is not required.
And that's a requirement there.
Yeah, that is a mom bomb hanging out in the tower room. This is fairly awkward.
Yeah.
We only have two people alive, and you were hoping for a boss here that you could just virus and be done with. Unfortunately, Mom Bomb is Mom Bomb plus about 9,000 extra health. So we're going to need a second virus, maybe even a Quake on Rex's side. Be curious to see which option he goes with. But this is not going to be as easy a fight as you would have wanted. But not healing up before coming up here also tells me I don't think he's going to the top of the tower. I think this is just going to be the tower key play. But that is the 4th objective boss on the board for Rexbanner, who has built up about, I think, what's going to be a 3-minute or so lead. But again, we don't know how far back Stone Dingley's feed is real time versus not because of those earlier stream hiccups. Could be maybe 60 seconds to 90 seconds of difference there. Not 100% certain on that, but definitely something that we'll be keeping an eye on. But does look like Rex is going to have a small lead for right now anyway.
Yeah, and he's basically doing what a common term would be. He's doing a penguinator.
Yeah, the penguinator special, which is when you have the tower key and you fade the top of tower.
Now, does this pay off? That's the real question.
Well, I mean, it had a boss objective, so I would say yes. Regardless of what the key item is, I'd say yes, it did pay off.
Yeah.
Now, if there's like a darkness crystal behind that Leviathan, it's awkward, but, you know, you live with that. There's a legend sword, though, half a forge.
Yeah. And I figure he's going dwarf next.
Yeah, I would like to see him take a stop and heal, though. He's got cabins. Okay, never mind. I missed the cabin purchase.
Yeah, he bought cabins earlier. And he's going to move Cecil in the center slot because Dwarf Castle is a little weird when it comes to agility and manipulation. Because that's actually one of the spots in the underground where you actually want a fast anchor.
Yeah, you want the fast anchor for the first spot, but not the second spot. It's kind of spooky. Like if you end up with a second spot Wyvern, it can be really sneaky and get the advantage over you. But let's hope for our runners that doesn't happen. Stone Dingley saying no to the tower key though, and is headed straight into Feymarch. So going to be prioritizing his freebies, whereas Rex was prioritizing that half tower play. We see Sork robes for sale, and we pick up 2 on Rex's side, 1 for Palom,
Very
1
nice.
for Rosa, which are definitely nice, and a free rune ring for Rex as well. So that Palom becoming a bit of a force all of a sudden with +8 extra magic or wisdom there. That's 2 extra rolls on his quakes, which is very meaningful.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the dwarf shop only had heals and what was the other one? I think it was elixirs.
Nothing of any relevance.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ninja.
Yes.
Did you see the key item we got from the Feymarch freebie?
No.
You want to say the line, or you want me to?
Oh, hey, we can get underground now.
Yay!
And it looks like Water Hag at Dwarf 1.
Yeah, Water Hag, definitely not a bad fight to find here. 3 hits and we're out. This is normally a very punchy spot. Magic's pretty high too, so it's a pretty good find for the runners, all things considered. What is a terrible find for the runners is, that's a required antlion that Stone Dingley is saying no to for right now. And also an Odin, which is not on our boss list, but still equally awful at the Leviathan spot.
That is one punchy Odin.
I'm personally hoping that we have darkness behind that Odin. I'm
would.
cruel.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of either one of those.
No, they're both not great bosses to find in the Feymarch, that's for sure. And one of the things, you can tell it's not a great boss when a runner of Stone Dingley's caliber sees a required boss at the Asura spot and says, "No, I'm good."
Even though it's not quite as punchy, it's still got a lot of health.
It sure does. It's still got like 20,000 health, which is more than you want to deal with.
Yeah.
And Rex just finding guards here in the second dwarf spot.
I'm surprised he just doesn't throw that coffin he found in Watery Pass on the back guard.
I mean, you just Quake here.
Yeah.
Don't even have to worry about anything.
Does Quake kill that back one?
Yeah. Yeah, it's only
Which,
3,000 health here. It's going to split it like 2,400, 200, 200, something like that.
okay.
So yeah, I think Quaking here is the
Yeah.
play. And then on Dingley's side, Leviathan would be the play. Save your
Yeah.
consumables, they could come in handy.
Yeah. And unlike Blue Moon, you don't get to spy the Luca item.
That's correct. No warp glitch on Red Moon. So no peak coming out of this. This is, no boss, potentially no key item.
So potentially that darkness could be vanilla.
It could, yeah, absolutely.
And they're looking for a Luca key.
Yeah, if Luca key is hanging out, let's say behind Odin, and the darkness crystal's there, we're going to be underground for a while, y'all. The package, that is a key item that nobody wants.
You don't know me very well, do you?
Okay, let me rephrase that. That is a key item that most people don't want.
There you go. I am a big fan of package checks.
What about a non-required Ogopogo at the package? How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, at these levels, it wouldn't really matter.
What about a required Baigen at the package?
Yeah, you just quake that thing.
All right, sounds good. I was just teasing random members of chat without actually calling them out by name with those two references, but that's okay. We do pick up a Thunderclaw on Rex's side. Unfortunately, no Yang or Edge to use said Thunderclaw. Would be great for Odin, but can't exactly do anything with that.
Hey, Rexbanner can get underground now too.
Yay! Wait, that was probably too much excitement. Yay!
Only Cure 2's in the Paymart shop.
Yeah, not the best, that's for sure.
Is there I was about to say, is there really any other gear that you really want from the weapon and armor shops? Really, I'm really trying to think of anything. On Rex's side, he's got Sork robes,
and probably a Charm Rod.
Maybe a Charm Rod, yeah.
I am interested on Rex's side if his eyes light up seeing this Odin. If he goes and saves and tries to Canderstruck.
I know what he's probably thinking. I've seen Rex do it.
Oh yeah, because there's the right play, and then there's the Rex play.
Yeah.
And if anyone were to ever want to pull this off now, it would be Rex. But even Rex is going to pass up that opportunity to be the forever showman. And say, I'll be back when this is a more tenable solution. Worth noting, both of our runners have now seen that antlion, and both of our runners have said no to that antlion. Yeah. So everyone is planning on a second trip minimum into the Feymarch.
And to me, that Leviathan at the top of tower is lingering in my head.
It's certainly becoming more and more appetizing to take on the noodle at the top of tower than it is to go back to that Feymarch. Even with that required antlion, that Leviathan's an easy fight. Those two Feymarch fights are not easy.
No. No one's checked the Tomra shop, have they?
I think Stone Dingley is there now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Find Sylph, but yeah, no. We're missing a couple different tier 5J items on this seed.
Yeah, no Sirens, no Bacchus.
Yeah. And yes,
I don't think I've even seen Coffins.
Stone Dingley saying, let's go fight that Leviathan. That is the easiest course that we can go with right now.
And Rex is going to turn in Sheila 1.
Yeah, so Rex going after the freebie key item check, Stone Dingley going after the relative freebie boss. We might get some Leviathan on Leviathan action from Stone Dingley as well. What does the underground Sheila Turnin give us today? It is the Adamant Rock. So this is interesting.
You're 50 minutes, almost 50 minutes in. I would say go back underground, forge, and then do Leviathan.
Oh, I'm forging 1,000,000,000% of the time with this party for a couple reasons. We have access to we have all of Sid's stuff, all of Kane's stuff, all of Cecil's stuff, and we have to remember there's another party member hanging out that we haven't talked about yet. There's a lot of decent hits for Edward too. So we have we have 4 party members potentially available to us who really truly benefit from the forge items. So I'm very curious to see if we get that forge turn in. I would be personally beelining for that forge with this squad.
Silkweb's in the pass shop. I mean, even for like Palom, I mean, the Triton dagger.
Yeah, it's a Stardust Rod.
It's a Stardust Rod, yeah.
Wow, Rex goes to Troya and doesn't do the Rexbanner play. Interesting.
I'm kind of surprised by that.
And also not going underground. He is shopping for something.
Trying to think what he's shopping for. Maybe he's picking up a different character?
Yeah, I'm not certain. Might be Edward for... No, we're getting Iridia.
Oh,
maybe we're going to be anchoring with Iridia now?
Yeah.
I mean, so this does get... The one thing that this does is it gives you RA1 Palom. So Rex could go and make a play at Sylph Cave Trap Chest if the Forge doesn't give him a Holy Sword. This gives him kind of a backup plan. So I'm very curious to see...
I think he goes Forge. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah. So we're going to get Forge on Rex's side. And I do wonder if Sylph Cave Trap Chests are in play after that.
What are we hoping for?
Well, I mean, I would have done this first before changing out Sid, because if this turns into like a Fiery Hammer, which everybody knows at this point, my favorite weapon in the game is the Fiery Hammer. Other than the Avenger, but that's not Super Smith.
Yeah.
I'm always hoping for a Fiery Hammer, and I got to call my shot on one race earlier this tournament. What are you hoping for?
Able Lance.
Able Lance? That's another really good one. a God Hand. No Yang. Womp. That's a shame, because that's a really good one. It's, I believe, 15 strength, vitality, and agility. Like, it's a phenomenal one, but no dice.
That is a nice shop there. I mean, Crystal Ring, Stardust Rod, and I think it was also Artemis Bow, yeah, and ribbons.
I'd be curious about the Stardust Rod and a Crystal Ring. We were only about 4K off from being able to afford the Crystal Ring. I'm pretty sure Palom's RA1, but the Crystal Ring would ensure that he is. And Rex is deciding, where do I want to go? It looks like we're going to get some Feymarch action on Rex's side here. Maybe just going with some Blinky Bluff strats here, which is a nice fancy way of saying Rose is just going to blink everybody, and then Palom is going to bluff Quake everything to death. That ain't going to work for Odin, but it'll work for Antlion. And we do see Stone Dingley is through that Leviathan. Took a bit of time to get through it, but was able to make it in just a pink tail. I say just.
So that means...
I think he's walking it out.
So Darkness has to be behind one of these two.
Yeah, Darkness is in the Feymarch.
Yeah,
or through the Feymarch. Yeah, that is confirmed at this point.
And both those spots are really gross.
Yeah, I mean, Antlion is doable right now.
Yeah.
Odin is not. I just don't think we have the DPS to get through Odin right now. We would need Lit 3 on Palom for that. This is an interesting party order for Rex. Are we setting up for Canderstruck rather than going after Antlion first? Okay. I was wondering if that's because that party order did not tell me Antlion whatsoever. That party order told me Canderstruck. So this is very interesting. And what we're doing here is we are going to try to time our jumps over the Xantetsukins and then get a Thor Rage off with Kane before he dies. We'll see if Rex can do this because the timing on this is brutally tight. And we're going to need to survive some punches here. And the issue here is that Kane took a punch. Yeah, he took a punch before the first Odin there, which is not ideal. Also, the fact that he took 1300 there. I think we need the glass hat on that Kane as well in order to survive that back row hit. But I think you still need the blink with Rosa, or like I know he used an illusion, but I think we're missing a piece of gear to really make this fire for Rex. I just feel like it's ever so slightly off. Like he knows how to do this, but this is a toughie.
Yeah, I see he's switching his battle speed around a little bit too, and I was just gonna go the Antlion instead.
Yeah, I think this is one of those. I gave it a shot. Let me do what I would call the air quote sensible thing here, which is to just go after the required boss, which could just have darkness, right?
Yeah.
And if it just has darkness, then well, you're in good shape. I'm interested on Stone Dingley's side now to also see what this Pinktail turns into. But we see the difference in attack power here. Yes, Antlion is punchy, but it's a different level of punchy because that was only 1,000 in the front row, whereas Odin did 1,300 to Kane in the back row. Entirely different level of rudeness. But I will say, if this is a situation where that Odin does gate the darkness crystal, there's probably a half dozen people who play this game who can reliably do Canderstruck strats, and Rex is one of them. So if this Odin is the path through, then it's a big advantage to Rex. I don't think that Stone Dingley is well versed in the Canderstruck variety. I know he can do the Thunderstruck with Eddie, but I don't think that he has that Canderstruck in his tool belt. We'll see though. I would love to be proven wrong on that.
Yeah.
But there are not a lot of people who will attempt that or be able to get through it, even if they attempt it. And oh baby, another Masamune. This is just this is the edge seed, and we have a Cecil.
Well played, Alchemy. And it looks like, Rex will get through this pretty easy.
Rex is going to run out of MP on Palom before this dies.
I mean,
we're going to have to at some point burn an ether. Yeah, we're going to have to burn an ether or elixir, which is a bit rough. I would have liked to have seen a bluff or two here, because when you get into these extended battles, like you want to be bluffing that plus 15 or plus 16. I think it's plus 16 from bluff, not plus 15. Yeah. But that's 4 extra multipliers for one command. It just makes everything so much easier. But we see Stone Dingley going to do a little shopping in Silvera. I wonder if Stone Dingley might still be looking for some sort of extra curatives or camping gear.
And Rex actually does get through.
Yeah, there we go. I think that was his last spell or second to last, but does
Yeah.
get through. We'll see what this antlion gives us. That is going to be just an apple, which means Odin has the goods.
This is scary. Rex doesn't know that yet, though.
No, Rex is likely... Yeah, Rex is going to go do the Leviathan. And now, one thing I would have liked to see here was going back to the Feymarch save point, staving, then leaving to do this Leviathan.
Yeah.
Because now we're going to do this Leviathan, we're going to get that pigtail, and we're going to be like, huh, okay, it is behind Odin. Let me just reset back. Rex also may be looking for sirens, though, and so this is an interesting thing, right? Because our runners don't have sirens available. They don't have Bacchus available.
Nope.
And they have a hard required Odin at Leviathan gating what we know has to be the route to the end of the seed. Because even if we were to do the Zot 1 check right now, that could still only put us at 6 bosses. We have no way of getting to 7. We have no pass. We have no darkness.
Yeah.
So it's a rough situation. To answer a question from chat, how are the Zantatsukins at Leviathan? If my memory serves me correctly, they're 1,000 to 1,500, somewhere in that range, which would definitely qualify as bad enough. Leviathan's magic power is not great, but this is not the Sid and Yang type of team for HP. This is the Cecil and Kane type of party. So it's not great. You might be able to walk one off if you have enough HP, but this is also where, if I'm in Rex's shoes in particular, I am going to Sylph Cave and I am jamming every danged trap chest in Sylph Cave just to get my XP levels up and to make that fight so much easier. On Stone Dingley's side, I don't think we have the perfect anchoring to do that. I think we have some anchoring, but not good enough. But this is a very, very brain teasery type seed. The likes of which I love seeing personally on this flag set, where you have to figure out the puzzle that is your Red Moon seed. So it's always a great time to get to see these, because you just generally don't, and it's fantastic. But while we have our runners kind of retracing steps and doing a bit of a grind for whatever is available to them, I do want to make sure that we get a huge shout out to the runners putting on this great show for you. Give Rex and give Dingley a follow. They're both doing a great job, puzzling their way through this fantastic seed that our Restreamer Alchemy has rolled for our runners. Dub, we're doing a great job pushing the buttons, and my co-commentator Ninja keeping me honest here, and really having some phenomenal ideas for how to tackle this seed throughout the course of this so far. So definitely appreciate that input, and always a blast doing this with you, my friend. But we now see Rex on his way up, going to take on that Leviathan, and Stone Dingley doing some last-minute shopping. There's ninja swords, which would be cool if we had an edge, but we'd already have 2 Masamenes, so it wouldn't really matter. So I think Stone Dingley is about to come to the realization that he knows he has to play around here in the Feymarch. He's almost certainly going to take Antlion first, and then probably have some choice words for our Restreamer Alchemy when he realizes also that Odin is required. Looks like Rex is continuing to religiously keep that Rydia as his anchor, making sure that she does not get any levels. And definitely curious on Stone Dingley's side if if we're going to be able to be anchored well enough to get through all of this. We have a rune ring coming up. We have what's going to be a more adventurous antlion fight, I think, on Stone Dingley's side. We'll see how the anchoring turns out here. We have some blinks coming out. Yeah, Rydia immediately going down is not great. Rex also threw this Leviathan fight. We'll see what he does if he resets out or not. Picks up Lit 3, which would have been helpful for that exact fight. But I think getting that Lit 3, I think Rex may just keep that. And may try to fire off 2 Lit 3s against Odin. And get some Berserks going as well. Because if you're against that Odin, I think you have 37,000 health. 2 Lit 3s will take out 20,000. And then you got to cobble together the remaining 17,000. I still think on Rex's side, I'd love to see a Sylph Cave dive here. Get all of that XP you can. Just make the survivability easier for the punches if you're going for Kanderstruck. But overall, with his setup, definitely would want to see Rex do everything he can to kind of level up and power up before taking that Odin. On Stone Dingley's side, I just don't know that his agility situation is going to let him do that. And it is a bit worrisome as to whether or not he's going to be able to get through that Odin once it is required. Or rather, once he knows it's required. Rex making his third trip down to the Feymarch. That is what we call in the business a feels bad. Once to peek the item in the bosses, a second time to take on that antlion, and the third time now to come back for this Odin. Not the situation you want to be living in, but it is the situation we find ourselves in. And Rex is setting up for those Kanderstruck strats again. I would be keen to also have Rydia alive going into this, just as an extra target to get hit. So I think that Rex has a pretty good setup here right now, but I think this setup could be a little bit better. We want to make sure that we're fully geared as much as possible on that cane. So I would rather see a glass hat. Yeah, there we go. Glass hat and Dragoon gear all stacking onto a back row cane now, which is fantastic. That's what you want to have. But I would like to see that Rydia alive so that she can take a punch rather than, just relying on the rest of the party members and, Kane not getting attacked. Because if we lose too many of those hits on Kane, like we just see that one there, we run into a bit of a spooky situation.
Ooh.
Yeah, so all of those attacks have basically gone to Kane here.
Oh, that's not good.
It is not. So he's down to basically 1 blink, which is awkward because there's 3 hits he's going to have to take here. That's 1, and we jump. We need to land, and we need to get this Store Rage out immediately.
Yeah.
This is going to be tight. We might be a little late on this. Oh, we got it! Rex! What a legend. I thought he was late on that, but he was on time. And gets through it. We know this leads to the Darkness Crystal. And, it doesn't lead to it. It just is.
Yeah.
This is one of Rex's favorite dang things in this video game. And he got paid by knowing that skill. We'll see if Stone Dingley has that in his bag of tricks.
That was very impressive.
Like I said, there are probably a half dozen people who play this game who can do that reliably, and Rex is one of them. So very interested to see if this turns into kind of a soft lock style situation on Stone Dingley's side. I hope it doesn't. But this is an absolutely super tricky situation that our runners have found themselves in. And Rex had that knowledge. And I think that this is the type of situation you just got to be celebrating that sort of thing. It's so cool to see it because you hardly ever do. But meanwhile, Stone Dingley is through, and he is going to have that moment of realization, that sickness to his stomach, that buddy to his left is required. And now he has to figure out, how do I get through this? But if any, yeah,
that's. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna say that is something I have never tried to do, and it's scary.
Yeah, I know that there have been a couple of seeds that have been floated around where things like that have been required, and I've had to learn how to do that because of those seeds that have been submitted and floated around. That Rex, Martin, myself, Pancraz, obviously, and a host of others who know them. But Rex is one of the few who can reliably do them, like at the drop of a hat. I will say that's the type of thing that would take me more than just 2 attempts. And Rex, the only reason he failed the first attempt was he just didn't have the HP or the right gear on. I think he had the timing the first time too. Like he just innately had the timing for it. Very curious to see where our runners go from here. Rex has 10 key items, but no sirens. And we're going to see if Stone Dingley has the right approach to this. He may just have enough HP between Sid, Cecil, and Kane to get through it. If, of course, he can get his blinks up. And this is part of where not having that anchoring is a bit rough. And that was a Cecil taking 1,700 in the front row with a glass hat on. That's how punchy that spot is.
I'm trying to figure out why I'll say Rex went and traded out Kane for Sid. And now he's switching them back. Okay.
Maybe considering Mac Giants here for a grind, but you would want to peek for Sirens first?
That's what I would. I mean, there is still the Nimue shop up on the moon. But that's the last source.
Yeah, that's definitely the place I would want to stop and check. And just kind of see what's going on. If we don't have sirens, but I know we have access to hourglasses in Eblan. If there's no siren, just buy hourglasses, turn on encounters on Lunar Subterranean Floor 4, or just find sirens.
Yeah, just buy siren.
We don't have money. Oh, we sold a Stardust Rod.
Okay.
Huh.
I think he already bought 10, didn't he? I think Mike's right.
Could be pivoting to hybrid, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moment of truth on Stone Dingley's side. We need to get some good rolls here on this Odin. Because we're not going to get through this without seeing the Odin, or the Thunderstruck, or sorry, Zantetsuken here. Oh, yeah, that is just a little bit more than we have right now on that Cecil and on that Kane, and this is the problem. This is where Rex having that anchoring situation and having that particular tool in his belt has set him well ahead right now of Stone Dingley, and Stone Dingley has to figure out how he wants to approach this now.
$19 sirens? Seems like a rather high number, huh?
It would be enough to get Rydia to nuke. But it looks like we're leaving Rydia on the ground.
Yeah.
It's interesting, because in this situation, well, I guess, is that only 9, not 19?
I thought it said 19.
Have to look next time. If it was 19, then Rydia certainly would be getting to nuke. If it's only 9 or 10, that would not be enough for us. So let's take a look. Yeah, that was just 10.
Just 10? Hmm. So 5 short, yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going to go hybrid here.
Yeah, he'll have
on Rex's side.
Now here's a question: if you're on Rex's side, do you check Zot one?
Let's see. What are we missing for key items? Luca key, Twin Harp, Baron, and Zot. So we're missing 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Ooh. I could see it either way. I don't hate Zot 1 plus the Giant before going to the moon. But I can also see the allure of just going to the moon and starting to clear checks. I think both are very defensible. And I think on Stone Dingley's side, we are getting the world tour of shopping, because I think we are looking for weaponry, for armor, for anything we can find. We're getting lit arrows. I think now we have samurai bow, lit arrow. So I think we're just going damage racing with this Odin. And I think Stone Dingley is ready to give this another whirl. Has the items that he thinks he needs to get through this. So let's wish him the best of luck as he attempts this. One more time while Rex is over here just blighting these poor eggs into oblivion. To answer a question from chat, Moonveils cannot be in the Forge Shop, as Moonveils are tier 7. Forge Shop will only sell tier 5 and 6. Or excuse me, only tier 6, I believe, on this flag set. The Supersmith weapon, to answer another question from chat, was a God Hand, which would be helpful if we had a Yang, but we don't. All right, so looks like we have picked up a base level Palom as an anchor. We've also picked up an Edward. So I wonder if we're getting some sort of hybrid Zerker with potential Eddie Strat for Thunderstruck here from Stone Dingley. And this is one of the things I mentioned earlier, that I know that Stone Dingley has the Edward Thunderstruck bit in his tool belt, but wasn't sure about the Canderstruck version. So we'll see what we get here. And also Rex is staying on the blue planet for right now, so I think we are going to get the Rexbanner play from the man himself. So we get Canderstruck and the Rexbanner. It would just be the perfectly aligned seed for Rex. if this play gives a boss as well, it would be absolutely incredible. It would be a thing of destiny, and it would be honestly really tragic for Stone Dingley, because this would just be like Rexbanner the Seed,
Yeah.
which would just be really bad luck. Worth noting, though, we do not have a blink up on Edward yet, so if we are attempting the Eddie variety of this, we are going to need to be doing some work to make that happen. I don't know that there's enough time to get him rezzed, blinked, and hidden now. Yeah, we're just going for the slow cast, so we have Zerked up Cecil here. Cecil might be able to dodge enough to live and keep going, but these lit arrow hits are only going for like 1400, and that was just a DKC at Zot 1 as well, so no payoff for Rexbanner attempting the Rexbanner. And we do get the giant play as well. Without the pass, I think this is a very defensible route, going Zot 1 into giant. And Stone Dingley, Cecil lives. Rosa also lives. If we can get a Cure 3 or a Blink off here on this Cecil, we might be able to get through this. I would have loved to have seen a Blink come out there. Oh, but he does get through. So Stone Dingley does cobble his way through that Odin. And does get the Darkness Crystal. A different route, but is able to get through. This is going to set up for Stone Dingley a bit of a race now to try to catch back up to Rex. I would say he's probably a solid 10 minutes behind right now. But if he fades Zot 1 and if this giant doesn't pay off, Stone Dingley can get a grind going and he can catch up. And it won't take all that long. I would say if this giant has value, though, Stone Dingley's in trouble. Well, sorry about that, Ninja. Go ahead.
So who do you like to see at 65k? That's still on our list.
I mean, one of the things that I have long clamored for as the absolute worst boss in the worst place on this flag set,
I think I know.
simply because back row glitch doesn't exist, and folks in chat have already called it out, and I think you also know, Orbs is the worst possible boss to find here.
Yeah.
That is a free fight, though. That is 102,500 XP doubled. That's going to be 205,000 XP for this entire squad. That's completely free because all Cecil has to do is bop it. Once the second kick is queued up, of course. Stone Dingley says, "Get out of my party, silly bard. Give me that Sid back and let me carry on." Second kick queued. Karate down. That is the freest of 65Ks you're going to see. Arguably faster than King Queen Eblan, even. Arguably faster than Water Hag. And also get to nuke on Palom.
Yep.
And Stone Dingley, though, off to the moon. Probably going to be looking for those sirens, and we'll see what he does. Rex on his way to the CPU spot. Now with nuke in hand on Palom, white on Rosa, and a couple of very beefy berserkers. And he is rewarded with a required Baigen. Yeah, that's a spooky boss that he's going to want to get set up for. He's going to want Palom in slot 2 here, so he can instantly quake. He's going to want his mages in the back row. I would consider having Cecil in the back row and kind of orphaning Rosa to the front row. So that way I can have Cecil cover strats and Palom in the back row. But this is not a particularly pleasant fight unless you can Quake Lock it. So I'm interested to see. I think we're just going berserk on Cecil. Okay. Rex is going mono e mono with Baigen, and that is a bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah. And direct nuke.
I mean, the first direct nuke makes sense because it pushes a lot of damage. But yeah, the
those
Quake
orbs have a lot of health.
Yeah, the Quake is a more prudent play, I think. And was that orbs at K Bahamut? Or was that arms that you were saying has a lot of health?
The arms.
The arms. Okay, sorry, I misheard. Turtle at Cave Bahamut. I missed it. That is probably a fight that Stone Dingley is not going to take.
No.
But while he is down here, he is going to go after these gold dragons. This gold dragon grind is going to highlight one of the perils of, well, doing gold dragon grinds when you don't have weak. Man, these things have a lot of defense and they stink. But that is boss number 6 on Rexbanner's side. Baigen at Giant 2 is down. So all we need to find are D-Lunars or CPU. And Rex will be our first runner in go mode at that point. So we shall see where these bosses are hidden. I think for Stone Dingley, it probably has to be a gated boss, plus maybe a package boss at this point, in order for him to come back. Because if there's a single boss directly on the moon at this point, I don't see a way back for Stone Dingley. It would have to be literally orbs and D-Lunars, like back-to-back spots. But even then, like, Rex is already up a grind. It's a really rough spot that Dingley's in. I think it has to be 2 gated bosses or a package and something else gating on the moon.
Yeah, I am not a huge fan of Gold Dragon grind.
Yeah, I think they're amazing if you have dragon killing, if you have weak.
Dragon Spear, Artemis Arrows.
Yep. Even a Dragon Whip Iridia.
Yeah.
But they're dreadfully slow without it. And I wonder if we get maybe a pivot over to Warlocks for Stone Dingley, or a pivot over to Gold Dragon. Something else on a lunar subterranean. Maybe even something in the very bottom of the moon. Or maybe look for a potential freebie. Admittedly, I haven't kept great track of the freebies that are left. But if there's something in the Ribbon Room, for example, could even have something there at play.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to have a meeting of the minds at the Murasame altar for both our runners. Rex up a grind and a giant and a Baigen at this point. We have some folks in chat calling out for an Evil Mask grind. I'm just going to go on record right now and say that's not going to happen.
Probably not.
I think you have to be on LST floor 10?
Yes.
9? 10? One of those for the double Evil Mask fight. There's a Sura. That's going to be a nope from Rex, and Stone Dingley, considering it, has the Rune Axe. Looks like we're getting a take here from Stone Dingley. Stone Dingley also does need some extra levels, so this does kind of make sense. This is going to be about 120,000 XP for his party with that 10 key item bonus. So that'll be another probably 2 to 3 levels for his party.
I'm thinking about 3, actually.
Now, there's 6K coming out from Cecil. Asura going to be punchy, though. It's 950 to a back row Sid. Probably don't want that Kane jumping. He's not actually contributing much. And then might want to get some blinks out on the team here just to protect other folks if we care about them. Stone Dingley may just not care about anyone but like Cecil and Rosa right now. Does opt to get a blink up on Sid though, so does want to keep the engineer around. The Dragoon, however, is taking the customary position of floor tank, as so many folks who have played as Dragoons in many, many video games know Dragoons always find their way to the floor. To answer a question from chat, the Ogopogo Gauntlet would have an Evil Mask, a Behemoth, an Evil Mask, a single red dragon, and a double red dragon. But Stone Dingley is through Asura and receives a pass. Rexbanner finds a Dark Elf at the Vanilla Ribbon Room. So a pass for Stone Dingley could be beneficial for him, because if he finds some key items up here on the moon but no bosses, he can route in the Giant on his way back and not have to walk the lunar subterranean a second time. That's an evil wall. So we have an evil wall, a Dark Elf, and a Asura, a Kainatsu. That leaves us only 2 bosses left. So if the Masamune altar or the Crystal Sword altar are both blank, our runners are going to have to start clearing checks, which is the only way for Stone Dingley to get back into this race.
Yeah. What I was going to say earlier was ask me how I know what an Ogo Gauntlet is.
I know how you know, because both you and our tracker, Dubward, this evening had a gauntlet in your race at the Ogopogo spot, if I remember correctly. One of my favorite highlights of the tournament was getting to see 2 of my good friends doing battle with the worst gauntlet in the game. But that was a Dr. Luge at the Masamune altar, which means if the Crystal Sword altar does not have value, this race is still live.
Yeah. And then here comes the real question. I think I would take the Ribbon Room. I know it's Evil Wall. That's what I'd do first.
Well, I mean, Ribbon Room gives you 2 key items. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lunars at the Crystal Sword altar. That is probably all she wrote for this one. That is going to be boss number 7 for Rex. That is going to be big advantage here in getting to the Zeromus fight first. I think that probably closes the door on Stone Dingley finding that boss here, because now Stone Dingley is going to have to go through, find those D-Lunars, get through those D-Lunars, go to the Giant, get through the Giant, and yeah, taking this Dark Elf fight is just going to add time to that. Unfortunately, I just don't see the window back for him. To answer a question from chat, yes, Rex did the Rexbanner. It was just Dark Knight Cecil. So no value at Zot 1 today. We do see rocks flying from Palom, a precursor to what we will be seeing in, I would assume, just a couple minutes on Rex's side. And we're going to want to get some walls up for some reflected breath here. There we go. 1 Lunar Frog activated, 2 Lunar Frogs activated, and this fight is now safe for Rex.
And over with.
And that is going to be boss number 7 completed for Rexbanner, getting his crystal. For this seed at a very respectable time of about 133.50, and going to be off to fight the big bad final boss that is Zeromus, and gets an extra crystal ring for his trouble. I don't know that Rex could have asked for a seed to set itself up better for him. Having a required Odin at Leviathan with very little in the way of options to be able to pull off that Canderstruck, which again, gotta highlight as many times as we can, because that's a Rexbanner special right there. That again, there's probably a half dozen people that have that natural timing for it as consistently as he does, and that little bit of tech, that kind of niche ability that he had to get through, that is honestly the race defining moment. Just a crystal armor from the Dark Elf at the plague spot. That is not the value we're looking for. Rex thinking about swag walking there, and then says, "Hold the phone. Let me chill on that for a second," and does decide to go back and save. But we have Rexbanner making his final descent into paradise, if you will. And chat is a little bit delinquent, as they normally are on it by this point, but we must be having a midday lull here. There we go. We finally have some Z flags in chat. The big bad final boss of Final Fantasy IV, Free Enterprise, Zeromus. Can't move him around. Can't put him in Antlion. No one wants to get big banged in Antlion Cave. That's just awful. So we always have a question we like to ask. And it's something about cosplaying, something about rear ends, something about hats. Ninja, what's the exact question again? I'm terrible at this thing. Well, if there's no question, I'll go ahead and say it myself then. I guess, whose butt are we going to kick this afternoon? Or in Alchemy's case, this evening? Or for our Oceania region folks, this morning?
Or does it have a butt?
Or does it have a butt? Does it have a hat? Is it cute? Is the hat cute? Does the hat have a butt? Does the butt have a hat? These are all questions and more.
We really need a sheet for that.
No. What cosplay are we going to clap today? I like that one. We have Stone Dingley taking on Dr. Luge. Lightning arrows are going to do work on the robot form in phase 1 and the Dr. Luge form in phase 2. Oh, we have a cute, very cute sprite here. 10 out of 10 on the cuteness. I'm going to say... Yeah, it's all butt. Hat, I'm going to call the little like spiky hair stuff going on. We're going to call that hat-like. Yeah, this is a fantastic sprite. I love this one. It's just so adorable.
Well, someone's chat's like, use the whistle. Oh, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I suppose we could use the whistle, and then it would change the sprite, and it would turn into a chocobo holding a crystal sword.
Yeah.
Be some next level. It basically give the chocobo a reactive image so that it changes mid-fight. Okay, that's just being silly at this point. But it'd be fun.
Ideas and feedback.
Yeah, for everyone hoping Chocobomus is not going to lose here. I regret to inform you, we have a 2900 HP Rosa.
That is something.
I'm no expert on math, but unless you somehow increase the spell power of the Big Bang to make it a 10-roll Big Bang, which is possible, by the way, by using a summon at the wrong time, that's the only way Rose is going to take 3,000 damage off a single Big Bang here. So I kind of think that Chocobomus is in for a bad time here.
Yeah, and it does look like Rex is not having any problem with this fight.
No, getting hybrid going, uh,
Mm-hmm.
has nukes going, whites going, Zerkers going with Kane and Cecil. Kane is trying his best. Actually, almost out damaging Cecil here, which is uh, a set of words that I just said
Yes,
that you don't normally say.
I normally don't say.
And Luge down on Stone Dingley's side. We shall see what the reward is here. We got a crystal armor and a heroin robe. Just a bunch of fancy shirts on the moon today. That is not the value that Stone Dingley is looking for.
Nope.
Very unfortunate on his side that these checks he's making just not paying off. At the window, I think has officially closed on Stone Dingley here.
Yeah.
Chocobomus shaking one more time, but most likely shaking because it's scared of its fate. And we'll see. Rex has got to be getting close at this point. We have pumped out a lot of damage. And
Yep,
there is our
it is.
second sighting of rocks. The first sighting was Palom. The second sighting is Chocobomus. I think this nuke probably going to do it.
Yep.
And that nuke has not left the screen, which means Rexbanner is your winner this afternoon with an official time of 1:44:02. Stone Dingley has decided to forfeit. Absolutely no shame there, given how far away he still is, unfortunately. Seeing that result come in, definitely do not blame that. And we'll see if we can get Rex, Stone Dingley, or both in for an interview and kind of go from there. And we have that dinging in our ear, which I believe means we are joined by the one and only today's winner, Rexbanner. GG's to you, Rex.
GG's. Howdy, folks.
Rex, we're just gonna lead off with the most important moment of the seed. When you saw required Counter-Struck strats, how happy were you?
Very happy, and then incredibly disappointed about 15 minutes later when I realized I had a glass hat the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wondered about that because I think we even commented that, oh, he has a glass hat. Why isn't that on his cane in the back row? But that's neither here nor there because you got through it, and and
Yeah.
here you are in your own personal victory road.
Yep.
So you're going through this seed. You're not finding good weapons for your Zerkers. You did a couple of trap chests. But you made one big commit, even after seeing Leviathan being available in the Eblan shop. You said, I am going to keep this Rydia as my anchor, and she's going to stay as my anchor. Was there ever a thought that you were going to bring her back for Leviathan, or later on in the seed, even to get her to go nuke white? Any thoughts to ever letting Rydia kind of join the team in earnest, as opposed to just as an anchor?
There was. If you notice, at one point I went in and I kicked Kane out for Sid, and then I ran back and took Kane back. It was because I was going to get Rydia up to nuke until I realized A, I couldn't demachine, and B, I didn't have enough money to do enough sirens to get her to nuke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw you had to sell your Stardust Rod for those sirens, which probably wasn't the greatest feeling.
No, because I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get 2 nuke casters, great, and then I didn't look into the future, I was just looking at the moment, and then as soon as I grabbed this, kicked Kane out and grabbed the Sid, I started looking at, okay, how am I going to, I can't do this.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering that myself.
So, I had plans and then realized almost too late that, hey, yeah, that's not going to work. So I had to backtrack and just go with my Zerkers and one nuke and white.
Yeah, makes sense. As you were going through and kind of proceeding through the seed, one of the other things that we had noticed was you stopped to take your 2 sirens up on Ordeals. Was that intentionally done to get levels on Cecil, or was that more for Virus on Palom, or some combination of both?
Virus on Palom. Cecil would be more considered the bonus. It was I wanted at least Virus on Palom before continuing on. It's just too good of a spell.
Yeah, I was thinking. I saw the levels. I was thinking if he does these 2 sirens, he'll probably get Rose's Berserk and Palom the Virus.
Yeah, and it turns out that that virus was pretty helpful for the gauntlet that you ran into immediately after. Uh, how happy were you, in retrospect, seeing that gauntlet having virus, or was it still kind of an annoyance because Palom's slow and you still had to eat a bunch of attacks?
Overall, I was happy. It was their annoyance was there. That crap, Palom, because I stopped there for a sec to think of how I could try to get Palom first, and it just wasn't going to work without going and switching out to Rydia at that point, and I really didn't want to do that at that moment. So, but just having that virus to eat everything, the majority of everything up once it got to Palom was nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, kind of the last routing question or seed-based question I have for you is: before going to the moon, you opted to go to Zot One, colloquially known as the Rexbanner, uh, and then to the Giant. Was that predicated on not having the pass, or was that just something you just like to do before going to the moon anyway?
It's not having the pass. I like to try to clear up most of my loose ends on the Earth before heading to the moon if I don't have the pass, so I don't have to double dip the moon if possible. So check the Zot one. It's a minute and a bit, and then if it doesn't work out, then I can go to my Giant. Same thing. I can check it out. If it doesn't work out, I can head out and then go to the moon and go. Where that worked nice, I was able to get my one boss off the Giant and my one boss off the moon.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. I do have a question for you, kind of forward looking, but before I get to that, Ninja, do you have any questions for Rex on this seed here today?
No, I do not.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and ask it then. Rex, we know who your opponent is going to be. Your opponent has been waiting for a little bit now. That is Woo Bear. You and Woo Bear are going to be doing battle in a best of one, the final best of one round before the Waning bracket gets to best of three. Anything that you are looking forward to, looking to change, looking to keep the same? What's your mindset going into a potential match against Woo Bear? If you have any thoughts on that, I know it is very fresh and new. You've only had about 10 minutes to decompress from the seed.
I'm looking forward to it. I've been enjoying these matches. I've made it far deeper in this than I thought I would, so I honestly thought Stone Dingley was going to end my run, so I wasn't completely prepared for the Woo Bear, but it'd be a nice match against Woo Bear. We can have the Canadians duke it out.
Indeed. 2 different provinces going to battle. Definitely will be a fun time. And I hope if that is restreamed that we get some good wholesome memes, Canadian style, just for that match.
Good old Canada land.
Yes. Well, I don't have any more questions for you. So, Ninja, any final thoughts or questions for Rex before we let him enjoy his afternoon? I'm going to take that silence as no question. So, Rex, the floor is yours. Anything you want to say before we let you go enjoy your victory?
Well, GG's to Stone Dingley. That was a wonderful trash fire seed. my personal favorite kind. And thank you to Possum and Ninja for the lovely commentary. Going to be looking forward to watching this back. Thank you to Dubword for pushing buttons and only feeding a few of them to Possum. And for Alchemy for the restream. So thank you folks that all came out to watch and support us. And looking forward to another wonderful race in the future. So
Yeah,
GG's once again, and thank you folks.
Yeah, thank you, Rex. GG's again, and for anyone who didn't catch it, Canderstruck is your friend, folks. Learn it and love it. Rex did, and it paid off in a big way today. So GG's one last time to you, Rexbanner.
Alrighty, you folks have a good afternoon.
Take care, Rex.
Yep, later.
All right, folks, and with that, that is going to nearly conclude our broadcast for the afternoon. Stone Dingley has declined an interview, which is absolutely his right as the runner to do so. And we are done here on this channel, but not done overall. We're going to be heading over to Jabron TR, who is running a Blue Moon Async, RPCAZC. So please make sure you do not spoil that whatsoever. Do want to make sure that everyone is aware of the matches that are happening today. We have Cubs ruling Kyrios at 7 Eastern back here on Free Enterprise. We have Stupid Sexy Flanders and Vitasia on Free Enterprise 2 also at 7 Eastern. Big Dunka and Slippery 9 Eastern on RPG Limit Break, and Raging Levine versus Mechalink 9 p.m. Eastern on Free Enterprise 3. So 4 restreamed matches that are happening today. And then there is also going to be, I think tomorrow we already know of one of our restream matches that is going to be happening. I think, or no, excuse me, it's Funnel Cakes and John Burkhead happening 10 Eastern tonight on Free Enterprise 2. So thank you one last time for everyone behind the scenes. Ninja, my co-commentator, Alchemy, Dubword, and our runners, Stone Dingley and Rexbanner. No spoilers on this race, or you get the bonk. Everyone, have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.